Hello, I'm Abrax and welcome back to another Division 2 video. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the new Cavalier gear set coming to the Division 2 in Year 5. This gear set has gone through some pretty major changes since the previous PTS, to the point where it may even be a little game-breaking. So in this video, let's take a look at the gear set and how it plays. First, a thank you to my supporters over on Patreon, more on how you can support at the end of the video. Remember, before we get into the video, everything on here has come from the PTS, so things may change before it goes live in the main game. Let's start by taking a look at the transmog of some of the new gear sets. I quite like the mask, vest, and holster. The knee pads look unique, but the one on the left knee looks a little skew-iff for some reason, compared to the right. But that might just be me. No, yeah, it's definitely a little bit off. The backpack skin looks quite nice, it's nice and unique. I could definitely see myself using some of this. Especially the mask, I do like the mask. Right, let's get into the gear set bonuses. So the Cavalier gear set. For the 2-piece bonus, we have 30% hazard protection. The 3-piece gives us 40% repair skill. And then the 4-piece bonus, charging. This is where a lot of people, including myself, think this could get a little bit broken. It needs testing, which I am going to do in this video shortly. But let's just have a look at the description for now. For each second spent out of cover during combat, agents will get 5% reduced incoming damage, max 40. So that is a max 40% reduction to all incoming damage. Gunfire, skills, explosive, status effects, everything. Charged. While fully charged, gain immunity to any movement speed debuff, so that's foam, fire, anything like that, and share this with all of the other agents' hazard protection, additional skill damage reduction with all allies for 10 seconds. So you can also buff your group as well, which is pretty great. After charged is consumed, charging buff will resume if still in combat and out of cover. So as you can see, that talent has the potential to mitigate a lot of damage, 40%. So that could be pretty strong. You need one guy running Cavalier in your group and you could pretty much buff your entire group. It's a pretty decent support set. It's going to be interesting to see how it is solo too. I'm hoping 40%, although it sounds like a lot, I'm hoping it doesn't feel like a lot, because this could dominate in PvP, let's be honest. It also is rolled with a blue core, as you'd expect, with it being kind of a more tank-based armor set. Let's take a look at the chest piece talent. We've got overcharging, increased charging max incoming damage protection to 50%. So that goes from 40 to 50% of all incoming damage. And on the backpack, we have safe charging. Charging gives 10% protection per second. So that takes it from 5% to 10%. Again, pretty strong. I could see the chest piece being a must-have, but the backpack, again, we'll have to see how it plays. So for the sake of testing this gear set in this video, I've put together 2 builds. I've not put a lot of time into these, I just wanted to test the gear set in 2 different situations. First, I have a more tanky build, one that is made up of 4 pieces of the gear set, including the chest and backpack, just to see how it feels with all of the talents active. Then I've got the Murakami Emperor's Guard knee pads for some extra armor regen, and a Bellstone holster for more armor regen. The idea being that you have the damage reduction, and this just tops up your armor a little bit. So I want to see how that plays with it being a slightly more tanky build. Really, I would have liked to spec more into armor regen across everything, but I just don't have the time in the PTS to really farm that kind of gear. And next I have a slightly more damage dealy build. So I'm using 3 pieces of Cavalier with the Ninja Bike backpack. I have the Picaro's holster for the weapon damage as well as the armor. Then a good old pair of Fox's Pride knee pads just for some extra damage. So this will let me test a build which is more focused purely on armor, with something that's a little bit more what you'd expect, with some damage and a few blue cores thrown in. For this test, I'm going to have to run through a mission. I'm unable to change my world difficulty in the open world. I'd have preferred to play control point, and that's how I play, that's my favourite activity in game, but for now a mission will have to do. So we've gone to Grand Washington on Heroic, just to see how an all blue version of Cavalier with the chest and backpack would behave. I'm curious to see how it is with this talent fully buffed. So I'm just going to take a few shots and I'm going to let it build. So this is 6 blue cores. Shoot me. Alright, that's not too bad. I mean, that's just one red bar. Red bar? Yeah. So, fully buffed, it didn't feel bulletproof. You don't feel like you can just run around tanking everything. I was expecting it to feel a bit more resilient than that, to be honest. Looking to take some damage. I wouldn't mind getting rid of you guys first. I want to, ideally, test this. I don't have any damage. Go away. There we go. I just kind of want to be shot at and see how it feels. So that wasn't... Okay, so that's fully buffed. Get rid of you. Let's pop an armor kit. And just see how it feels. So this is fully buffed. So, it's funny, you're aware of it. I can tell that it's there, I am taking less damage. But, it doesn't feel great. It's not like... It's not game-changing. When you run with a build like Striker or Heartbreaker, you can feel the difference. You know, wow, a lot of damage, bonus armor, this is great. I'm not super feeling this yet. I mean, obviously the damage is pretty bad with this. I mean, that's not horrendous. You can't stand and just face tank everything. Let's just try. Let's go a little bit run and gun. So, out of cover. Fully buffed. You guys gonna shoot or what? So, you can feel it working, you can feel the reduced damage, but I don't know if that's enough to be considered kind of any kind of meta or game breaking. That's with an all blue build, with 2% armor regen. I know that's not a lot, but it's something. And I didn't feel like super tanky. I didn't feel like I could just stand out in the open and face tank everything. And in PvP, you often take more damage, I feel, in PvE. So, as it is, I feel like that's a nice balance between not being game-breaking to being there. You're aware of it, you can feel it, but you can't face tank with it. I want to try with a more conventional build. So I'm going to reload this mission, try this beginning section again, because there's a nice amount of firepower coming in. So I'm going to try the other build, play it a bit more seriously, and just see how it feels as more of a build than just chucking some stuff on. So this is the same mission. I'm just going to play that beginning sequence again. This time I'm using 3 pieces of Cavalier with the Ninja Bike backpack. I have got the Picara's holster for some extra damage as well as armor. Then I've got the Fox's Prayer knee pads for more damage. I'm gonna see how it feels as more of an actual build, something kind of more put together. But to be honest, I'm not expecting much. I'm not expecting it to be massively different. I just want to see how it feels when you can actually do some damage, because the previous build I just tried was just based around blue cores. There was no real damage going in there. So let's give it a go, see how it feels. So with this particular gear set, if I was playing solo, it's already not going my way. I was about to say I'd play it more aggressive, because the idea is damage reduction.
Immediate medical assistance needed. Agent vital signs 0.
So if I was playing this solo, The way I'd want to play it is quite aggressive. The idea is damage reduction and staying out of cover. So I would want to be charging in there, doing damage, getting up close. I don't think that's what this is going to be. This is going to be a build for a support player, somebody who wants to be there to buff the rest of their team. I was hoping that it would have some level of solo potential, but I think it compared, this guy taking the, get out of it. But I think compared to sorry, I don't know what his arm's doing. Compared to other gear sets, I just don't think it's there. I think it's lacking compared to Striker, Heartbreaker, and you know, quite a few other gear sets. Personally, I don't think this is going to be taking over the meta in any way. I don't think they're going to buff it. I don't think they're going to reduce it either. I think it sits in a nice place where it is, but it's purely designed as a support build. And that's fine. I'm okay with that. But I just wanted to know, what kind of soloable potential did this have? So in conclusion, I'm not particularly blown away by this gear set. You can tell that it's been put together with support players in mind. I was hoping it would have some kind of solo potential, a bit like Nomad from the first game, but it's just not there. It doesn't, you still take too much damage. The way I read this gear set, to me, I would have wanted to play quite aggressive. It's about damage reduction and staying out of cover, so I'd want to charge in, get up close and personal, taking advantage of the reduced incoming damage, and just put damage out that way. But you still take too much damage for that to really be a viable thing. The goal for this gear set, to me, is for a support player to sit near the back, gaining the buff and then passing it on to the rest of the team. That's fine, let's be honest, healers and support players are the true heroes of games like this. I don't think this is going to be dominating the meta. I don't think you're going to see everybody running this in PvP. It's just a nice additional gear set, but it's still, to me, a pretty mid-tier gear set. What do you think? Is this something you're going to run? Have you got any build ideas around it? I think with a bit more time with this, I might try a few different builds, see what works, but again, as more of a support kind of build. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and don't forget to subscribe for future Division 2 content. As always, a massive thank you to my supporters over on Patreon, and if you would like to join them, you can support the channel for as little as £1 a month. You'll find a link to that in the description below, or consider becoming a YouTube channel member. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.